Realistic artificial grass in the Central Valley.
From NFL quarterback to Hollywood to the mayor's office and now behind the mic at KXEX. This is the Alan Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody's crabbing out there. Nobody.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable. Free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty! We are free.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX.
And welcome to the Alan Autry Show. No retreat, Manic Monday, and we're coming to you live. Live radio, live social media. They don't do that anymore. All these cowards go out and they pre-tape. They go to pre-tape. Why? Because you're going to mess up. I mess up every day. You all know that. And our numbers are growing. And I appreciate you so much, folks. Autry's Army. More than I could ever tell you. I know I go on and on and on, but I've been blessed to live a lot of dreams, playing pro football, movie business, politics, and there's nothing I have just purity old, as they say in the South, enjoyed more than this hour that I get to spend with you a lot of days. Not every day. I've been having to take a little leave to go do a TV guest spot here and there and some other stuff, but I just love you so much and appreciate you so much. Now, you know we normally talk about the hard-hitting subjects going on, and my goodness, are there some hard-hitting subjects out there I've never seen in my lifetime, and it's a long one. The country and the world at such a tipping point that could go one direction or the other than the times we're living in today. You got a war raging over in the Middle East, a war in Ukraine. You've got inflation out of control. You got a border out of control. You have people who want to defund the police. You have inflationary things going crazy. And it's just a whole lot of stuff to talk about. And we have to talk about it because we can't put our head in the sands. We got to address it and take the right positions and get the right people in positions, to make the right decisions. But today, many of those things we don't have, we have very little control of. And in some of those instances, I have to go as far as to say we have zero control of. So it can get a little frustrating. It can get almost beyond frustrating. I know personal friends that are completely depressed by all the world affairs. They just, they don't know, as Dad used today, to do or wind their watch, and they just get depressed. They get anxiety-ridden. And it's sad to watch. We're all feeling it. But and when you try to control something you don't have control of, you can be interested in it, but you have to know where your limitations are. Clint Eastwood had a great line in his movie Magnum Force. A man's got to know his limitations, and so does a woman. So does anybody. So what we're going to do today, though, we're going to talk about something that we do have control of. And these two handsome gentlemen to my right here, Mr. Chris Montero. Welcome, Chris. Montoya. I'm sorry, man. I got my buddy over there at Sierra Charter School. Montoya. Chris Montoya.
That's all right.
Welcome, buddy.
Welcome.
Welcome, Charlie, right? Yeah, you're going to get me back on that one.
I will.
And Ryan Rivera to his right. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you.
They're all from a organization that Chris Montoya owns called Valley Fitness and Fort Washington Fitness. And if you've listened to the show, watched the show, the last couple of years, you know them. We do a lot of spots for them. And Chris has been supporting our at-risk program for at-risk youth called Legacy. Really appreciative of everything he's done. But he also gives the gift of fitness. And there's not a guy, I feel, in our community, and you probably have a Chris Montoya type individual in your community. And by that, I mean the ones that were courageous enough to keep things going during COVID, when you couldn't find a place to work out. And if you subscribe to the fact or the belief, which is a fact, that your physical fitness has a direct bearing on your mental and spiritual health. That was a sad, sad, dangerous time when courage was needed, but courage was not displayed in many communities very often. But Chris did. Chris, you kept things open. You were open about it as well during that time. First of all, tell folks, and then we'll go back and tell you a little bit more, let Chris and Ron tell you more about Valley Fitness and Fort Washington Fitness here locally. But why did you make that decision under such enormous pressure to shut down, yet you didn't do it? Why'd you do that for?
Yeah, well, we shut down in the beginning because, we followed I think what was the story, 3-week shutdown, and then we're going to reopen again. And we decided
to flatten the curve.
Yes, some story.
Yeah.
And what we were seeing is that timetable was extending, and we were getting just a lot of emails and calls from our customers. In fact, calls from hospital workers and police officers and that needed to be in the clubs. They needed
old
their
out
fitness.
of work actors.
Old out of work, yeah. That needed fitness. That felt like that's what they were missing. That's what they were painful. It was a painful experience for them not to be in community at the clubs. Not getting their daily dose of fitness, right? And they started to see the effects on them, not only physically but emotionally. So we are getting that call more and more often, and we thought we have to do something. If we believe in what we believe in, then we have to make a stand. So,
well, you know me, folks. If I'm an independent politically, I'm an independent as a person. I don't believe what people say about somebody till I meet them. If I don't know them, they're beating up on somebody, all I gotta say is, listen, I don't know the guy, so I can't make a judgment or the individual. I was right in the middle of this, as Chris was saying, and a lot of you can relate to this. Kind of there side by side with him going through these difficult decisions. And then once it was made, what was remarkable to me is the level of peace that Chris was at to accept whatever came down as a repercussion, because he knew how important fitness. You've had some challenges in your life, as I have physically, and you had a kind of visceral understanding of how important that was to people. And dadgum, people, they talk the talk, but very seldom do you see them walk the talk. And that's when I kind of got on this rant, and you all know I stand by my decision. I put my career on risk every time I do this show, because I call it like I see it. And I'm not trying to say I'm some kind of martyr or hero. Just blame it on my mom and dad. It's how I was raised. And this man, when a lot of people were folding, he kept it open, and a lot of lives were blessed. Ryan, we were talking before the show, and I think it's a very, very unique approach in this competitive world of fitness. Now, there's competition in the movie business for parts. There's competition like crazy in the fitness business. Not just from other clubs, home gyms, springing up during COVID, a lot of places trying to find that place to find your fitness routine and stuff. But you all have a kind of a unique approach to how you go about things in this competitive world, a kind of a global approach. Why don't you talk a little bit more about the Valley Fitness and Fort Washington ideology, for lack of a better word, or...
Yeah, so like we were talking about before, Chris actually gave the good analogy was that, there's only a certain percentage of people who attend the gym, right? And it's not a very high percentage. I don't know what it was, like 23 or something. 23%, right? And for us, it's not, like you said, it's not so much about Valley Fitness versus another gym or our workout program versus another gym. But if we bring that 23% up just to say 30, everyone's happy, right? Like our gym's happy, that program's happy, this program's happy, that trainer does well. So for us, it's not so much about just one location or us ourselves. We need to get more people doing fitness in general.
So you feel like we talked before, it's kind of like a rising tide lifts all boats. Chris, you had mentioned that you have no qualms about saying, hey, you're here at the gym, or even somebody you're just talking generally about fitness, Pilates might be good for you. There's a great Pilates studio down the road. I know you refer people to places, and I've been in the gym. I've been a member there, and I tell you, I've been a gym rat for the last 40 years of my life. And I will tell you, as I told you on this show, It's such a unique workout environment at Fort Washington Fitness and Valley Fitness. Number one is how clean you keep your gyms. You're not going to talk about it, but I will, okay? Because it's people don't go to gyms a lot because they think they're dirty. You kept, and not one case, by the way, of COVID was ever traced back to any gym, dirty or not. But being clean was a really important thing. The bathrooms of your gyms, your people are always look groomed and clean and work there. And just how important that is to present, that first step in health. When I go to a restaurant, I judge it by the bathroom. If I go in there and the bathroom's all stinky, I ain't there and again. I don't care how good the food is.
Right.
Talk about that, why that's so important to you.
Well, I think there's two things, right? A friendly and clean environment is key and something we focus on heavily. Don't get me wrong, we stumble, we fail. There are times we stub our toe. And when there's that many people coming through the club every day, it's hard to keep them tip top, right? I mean, I hear that not only from our club, but we hear it from other clubs where, that place wasn't clean that day. But one person walks through and decides to drop chalk or unwrap his protein wrapper on the ground, and you can't be in every corner 24/7. But we really focus on making sure that's like that way.
Again, I've been going how many years? I've yet to see that. Now, I'm sure it happens. Mm-hmm. I've yet to see the protein wrapper. Quite the opposite. I see somebody, of course, I got the enlarged prostate, so I go to the bathroom a lot during there. TMI, I know, folks, but you also know me. As a public service now, I'm an old dude. So I'm in and out of that bathroom a lot, and I've just never even seen a towel on the floor, paper towel. But also, you mentioned about being welcomed at a gym, how important that is, because a lot of people out there, and I've talked to my folks out there, because I challenged, remember back when I challenged you about your fitness, that if you can't go to a gym, get you a bottle of Tide, fill it with water, and there's a lot of things you can do a home workout. Mm-hmm. Can of pork and beans, I don't care what you do. There's a way to get a workout in of having how important I think fitness is to your overall, quality of life. Where do you think, after COVID, and maybe let's go back to pre-COVID, where do you think we are in the country, in America, which by every measure, every study seems to be getting more obese? You never see a study that says Americans are getting in better shape. Where do you see fitness and in this society moving forward as a whole? Then that demographic that's having a lot of mental health issues, the younger the early millennials, Generation Z, and then you have Generation Alpha, who don't even know what a gym is. Give us an analysis on where you think we're heading, and how do we, if it's not heading in the right direction, how do we fix that? How do we get the word out that they need this?
Well, there's a couple things that are some bright spots. So we are seeing the younger group use the clubs more than they ever have in the past. So a lot of people our age are complaining about it, right? Because they usually come with a tripod and a phone, and they're filming it.
I can attest to that. Which is on my question list.
Yeah. But we are seeing much more use that way. So we're excited to see, because that hopefully translates to more people in our communities using fitness. But I think it comes to ease, right? It's the ease of food, and that's really got us in our country, at least, right? Fast food's easy. I can grab something to go. They pretend things are healthy, but they're not. They're fortified. They've got all kinds of fillers. But it's education, I think, is where we're missing, right? The more educated people can be, they can read a label to understand what they're reading, and start making proper choices. We will see a change, but it's until we can educate enough people to make that tide turn, we're going to continue down this path, because we just haven't done a good job of that.
And I think that's why I like your global approach, your willingness to make fitness is life. That's the motto of Valley Fitness and Fitness Fort Washington Fitness. And Ryan, let me ask you this. I have a friend of mine, works out at Fort Washington, former cop. He works out hard, but his diet is crap. And he complains that he can't get any results. I mean, in the final analysis, you can't, unless you're watching what you eat and are reasonable about what you eat, you can't depend on the gym and a workout to fix everything, can you?
Short answer, no. I mean, but it's balancing act, right? I mean, gym, weights, that's like 50% of the equation, right? So you go to the gym, you have a good workout, you work out hard, but then if you go and you get something that's easy, right? I mean, you're not really fueling that workout post-workout, right? So, yeah, the diet is unfortunately the part I think where people miss out the most, right? Because I think it's a lot easier to get into the gym, right? I mean, we have a lot of gyms now that, they're affordable, they're friendly, and then it just kind of stops there. We're not seeing a big wave of healthier choices in food, supplementation, stuff like that. So, yeah, that's the one where I see people miss out the most. I mean, I've been training for a long time now. I've trained thousands of people, and the working out, that's the easy part once they're started. Even someone that's been working out 5-10 years, the diet part is still a bigger challenge that I've noticed.
Now, at Valley Fitness and Fort Washington Fitness, do you have that service available to somebody? They want to come in and sign up and say, hey, I don't know the first thing about getting in shape. Can you help me get on a diet and a workout program? Do you have that capability there?
Absolutely. We have it through a couple different avenues as well.
So
we have personal training at a handful of our locations. So that means that someone would be able to work one-on-one with a trainer where they can go over their training, nutrition, supplementation, etc. We also have a membership type where this member gets access to what we call a head coach, who they meet with on a month-to-month basis. And that is a topic that we go over, which is the diet and training, et cetera. So, yeah, we have a couple avenues where people can actually get hands-on help with their diet.
And I know a lot of folks out there, because I've heard your feedback, you're intimidated by going in the gym. Well, you're not alone. It can be an intimidating thing if you've never worked out in your life to walk into that gym, because you're afraid everybody that's going to be working out is going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or the female equivalent of that. That is not the case. You'll see everybody, so many people at different stages of their fitness. There you'll feel at home if you can get past that initial intimidation. What I'm particularly impressed with is how friendly you're received there at Valley Fitness in Fort Washington. There hasn't been a time that I have come in that somebody didn't say, hey, how you doing, Alan? And when I leave, but also watch, not just me, everybody that leaves there. And that means that sometimes that can mean a whole lot to feel welcome when you come in. Tell a little bit about that. Is that a purposeful thing that you guys in your employee training, Chris, emphasize, or is it just by accident?
Oh, no. That's something we pay attention to. There's a couple reasons for that, right? Because there's something that happens to you when you feel welcomed into a place, right? It just changes you physiologically. You're probably going to have a better workout. You're going to want to go there more often. But it comes from, and I'll tell you the quick abridged version of it, and this was probably 15 plus years ago. I was standing at one of my clubs at the front counter, and this girl walked in and she said, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" So I thought it was going to be a complaint. I said, let's grab a seat right here at a desk. And she said, "No, it's got to be in private." And
it's really going to be bad.
Yeah. Oh, God. This is going to be awful. And it was wintertime. She goes, "I got to tell you, last summer I was thinking of killing myself." And but when I walked through the doors, your staff always knew my name. They always greeted me. They always noticed if I haven't been around for a few days. They always told me have a great weekend. And then they always seemed excited to see me. And they were one of the few things in this world that gave me value. And from that moment on, it kind of opened up this Pandora's box for me to kind of look at what people are looking for when they walk through the doors. Because they all say, "I'm here to lose weight." But what does that really mean to them, right? So if I lose weight, I'll feel better about myself. Or I'm in a city that I'm lonely, so I'm saying I want to lose weight, but I just want to be around people. But everybody has this backstory of what they're looking for. And then for that one girl, all she needed was a hi and a goodbye, and we saved a life of a mother. And for me, that was just, it changed my whole perspective on what we do every day.
Wow. I mean, you know, and we're finding more and more irrefutable data that working out, getting a physical workout contributes so much to mental health.
Correct.
And spiritual health.
Correct.
That's not been the case. You know, I'm a Christian, and I tell you, not too long ago, the majority of Christians, I don't mean to step on toes, my own family, I'd look into a church on Sunday, there'd be just 90% of the people overweight waiting for Jesus to come home. I mean, not out. And then you read the Bible, and it talks that Jesus, I said, was the first health nut. Mm-hmm. They walked wherever they went, the disciples. He only rode a donkey once, and that was to fulfill Scripture. A lot of Christians watch this show. When he prayed, he climbed a mountain. He talked about the body being a temple. And, well, Jesus wasn't under stress. Have you read about the Garden of Gethsemane? Yes, he was. He felt everything we did. And if you're a Bible-believing person, physical fitness is extremely important aspect to having a quality of life here. It doesn't have anything to do with your salvation, but your quality of life here on earth when you're serving him certainly does. Now, I don't know how you say Jesus and Creedence Clearwater in the same breath, but we got to run through the jungle here. We'll be right back with Chris Montoya and Ryan Rivera. This is Alan Autry, No Retreat. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best
Got
talk
it.
in town. Talk
You
Radio
done?
1550
No, I'm kidding.
KXEX.
You're not done. You're just warming up. That's
Am I?
good stuff there.
I hope so.
It's real good stuff. When we come back.
Are you still live on Facebook?
Oh, yeah, we're live on this. So mics are always hot.
Uh-oh.
All right.
We got any comments there? I should have asked the people.
Yeah, I'll get to those in just a bit. Let me just get this.
I should have told people if they get questions. I'll do that when coming out of this spot. So we have how much time left?
You will have 29, just under 30 minutes.
Okay. Good. This is good stuff. You know, I've had similar things with the show that we did. Mm-hmm. You know, people have a tendency to say this phrase in the movie business, hey, we're not curing cancer here. Let's just get this shot and go get it done. Mm-hmm. And it happened on a heat of the night once. We were trying to get this scene right. It was about 1 a.m. It was tough on the crew. I get it. But the sound guy goes, we're not curing cancer. I overheard him, So we got the shot. Next day we're at lunch. And because I thought about that a lot that night. I sat down next to him, good guy. We were talking. I said, remember what you said last night, we're not curing cancer? He goes, yeah, I'm sorry. I was a little frustrated. I said, no, it's all right. I understand, It's 1 o'clock. You've been working your butts off and making us look good and everything. But you made me start thinking. I said, on doing these shows, we're not curing cancer, but we can make them forget they got it for an hour. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there's some value to that.
Correct.
Yeah.
The shut-ins and I know a lot of people watch this show, they looked forward in your performance, looking for what, it's hard to believe somebody's waiting for a performance that I'm doing, but they do. I mean, it's, there's always more to what you're doing than what you're doing, usually. What'd that do? I could imagine it when she said that.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, the quick turn on that from what you were expecting, that 180 had to just take you.
Yeah.
Everyone good need water?
Good.
Yeah, I take a quick one.
Right, that one's yours. All right, gentlemen.
Don't mix them up, Edgar.
Oh, I switched. No, Joe. All right. Maybe not talk about COVID so much because on Facebook it's shadow banning.
Oh, it is?
Oh, of course.
Sorry.
Of course.
Here we go.
It's election year. Oh, yeah, we get shadow banned all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just mention it.
Yeah, don't talk about shadow.
Oh, yeah, that logarithm is all over it.
All right, here we go.
I'm going to meet Lago one time.
Lago.
I'm going to have him give him an earful, or her.
4, 3, 2.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX.
And welcome back to Alan Autry No Retreat. We are talking fitness today. Physical, mental, spiritual fitness. Fitness with an underlining of the physical fitness. We got Chris Montoya, Ryan Rivera, and Edgar Velasco. You don't see him, a handsome young man, part of the team. He's off camera today. We're just really blessed to have them, and I've been wanting to do this deep dive into fitness for a long, long time. And these folks, there's no one better than to talk about the effects and the benefits of fitness, physical fitness, than the team we have here from Valley Fitness and Fort Washington Fitness. And if you're looking for a place to get a great workout with great people, whether you're just starting out, you've never lifted a weight before or got on an exercise bike before, Valley Fitness, Fort Washington is a place to go. I know I've been all over fitness gym. First thing I go when I do a movie is to the gym. I go to the hotel and I'll find out where the gym is. Usually it's not at the hotel. They got crappy gyms. But you'll find the closest one there, take a little Uber now, go get my workout, and come back. And I tell you, I'm so excited to tell you all about this, here, especially here locally. There's 11 Valley Fitness. Am I correct with that, Chris? 11?
14.
There's 14 now. Now, where are the locations for the Valley Fitness?
All of them?
Well, how many in Fresno? Then you have one on the coast, right?
Yeah, it starts in Atascadero.
Okay.
And it works its way up Visalia, Hanford, Selma, 3 in Fresno. Then we have Fort Washington Fitness here. Then you go to Madera, Atwater, Manteca, Modesto, Stockton, Los Banos, and Gilroy.
My goodness.
I know.
No, it's
too many.
No, it runs you ragged. But I get excited about that because your message is spreading. You really have a unique outlook on this stuff about spreading the world of fitness first, not just a business. And as the information is spread and people understand more about how important fitness is and how accessible it is. And I was said, whether you're never been in a gym before, these gyms, I don't know about others, maybe others are working the same, they make you feel the same way. But I'm telling you here at Valley Fitness Fort Washington, if you've never worked out before, do not feel the least bit intimidated about going in there. Tell them you've never worked out before. There'll be somebody coming there taking you by the hand and showing you how this whole thing started, because gets you started. Because I tell you this, you can't say this about too many things because there's a lot of gray area in the world. But this is an absolute. You start your workout program and you stick with it, folks out there, it'll be something you will never, ever, ever regret. It's only a positive. If you're feeling bad, you're going to feel better after your workout. If you're feeling great, you're going to feel even greater after your workout. It really saved my life going back to my crazy days in Hollywood, which I talked about. I never went to a rehab, never should have got arrested, never got arrested, should have been both. With my alcohol abuse and cocaine is coming out in my book. I freely talk about that. If it wasn't for the physical fitness part, when God delivered me from that, I don't know if I could have made it, being honest with you. It's that Chris just told a story about a young lady that I could relate to that it meant so much to her how she was treated there at the gym. That combined with the workout is transformational. Now with that, Ryan, let me ask you this. We talked about, the future of physical fitness and how essential it is to a healthy society. You guys are global in your approach to fitness. I happen to think the level of which physical fitness can be made available to young people, as you said, the younger you get in, the better, because the road to mental health problems starts so early when they're on these phones. The kids are stuck and addicted to social media, and they won't put it down long enough to go do a workout, and they have parents that don't emphasize it. So without being overly dramatic, like I'm being, but I don't think I'm being overly dramatic, how important do you think it is to start educating young people younger than you probably would before? Back in the day, they had recess. We got a lot of exercise in recess. That was enough to start out with.
Yeah.
But they don't get that anymore, really.
I know. Yeah. Unfortunately, they don't. sports is obviously a good avenue too, right? I mean, just getting active, but going back to like the mental side, it's unfortunate, but you're even seeing some of the younger people getting into fitness and still having it within fitness, because you mentioned social media. On social media now, it's nothing but the way people look, right? Like no one's talking about mental, physical well-being, and it's all about the way they look. So if someone starts a fitness journey, they go on social media and they think they have to look a certain way now. And that's only just adding fuel to the fire. And Chris said it earlier, we need to do a better job of just educating the importance of mental well-being with fitness and not just those goal outcomes.
Man, you are really on to something. I think this, especially with young people, but I think it's true with older folks. A lot of them feel you got to be dressed a certain way. I mean, if you don't have some Lululemons, you're gonna like not be accepted in the world of the gyms. And that is just so far from the truth. You see people at Fort Washington, they're all, baggy sweatpants, Lululemons. You'll find some of those. But I think you're onto that myth has to be addressed, that you don't have to have $500 worth of fitness apparel on you to feel at home at a gym.
Yeah. I mean, the look is a big one right now. I mean, the way that you look is just the byproduct of taking care of your mental and physical well-being, like eating the good foods, right? Like the way that you change, that's the byproduct of that, right? And Chris said it earlier too, everyone says they want to lose weight or put on a little bit of muscle, right? But we need to do a better job of figuring out why. Like, why do you want that? Like, what is it going to do for your life? It's not just, I want to weigh 150 pounds. Like, no, what does that do for you? Does it allow you to play with your grandkids? Does it allow you to go on a hike? Like, what does it do for you is what we need to do a better job of finding out for people.
Well, it's a job you all are doing well there.
Thank you.
No, that's why I encourage almost every day to go check out your gym. I say, listen, if it's not Valley Fitness or Fort Washington, find you someplace to work out. And, Chris, you mentioned, and Ryan, how getting active and emphasizing fitness will end up benefiting not just your business, but all folks because you pull for everybody out there that's delivering a legitimate fitness product, whether it's dietary stuff or an actual workout. But it hits close to home for me. My grandson, had a lot of health issues early on in life. He was in and out of Valley Children's, still deals with some significant issues. But out of a lark, we encouraged him to start up tennis. Well, he's taken up tennis, and Caramel's helping him out, and he's getting better. He came to me, and he says, I want to join a gym. I said, what? He goes, I want to get stronger. He took that. He goes, I need to get stronger. And so there you go. He would never interested in joining a gym. His road to the gym came through a sport, an activity.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And your theory put in practice, I'm seeing it unfold right before me with my own grandson. So.
And I think you see even a bigger picture of that is when people have this vision of what fitness or weight loss or strength is going to give them. When they start down that path, their dreams even get bigger. Their goals even get bigger. It opens up a whole different world for people, right? So, they'll do a charity walk, and all of a sudden they go, well, maybe I want to try a 5K. And then they conquer that, and they go, maybe I'll run a marathon. But if you went back to the initial day they started, they would have never said, I want to run a marathon. Right. So we've seen some amazing journeys and stories of people that we just watch them blossom in life. And it all started with a little fitness and a little nutrition and a little nudge forward, and all of a sudden the world opened up to them. So it's cool.
It's very cool. And the people that start out with like 1 plate or 2 plates, and you talk to them, I'm up to 9. I mean, the joy in their eyes and their face, I'm up to 9, and I'm going to go to 10 plates. Mm-hmm. It's really, really cool. Oh, folks, we got some time left here. If you have any questions on fitness, and listen, please, you've heard it. Guys and ladies my age have heard it their whole life. And I'm going to say it here. It's true. There's no the only dumb question is one you don't ask. Don't feel about fitness here. Whatever question you have, take advantage of this time. We've got the website number, the email number there. Email your questions or your comments to the to the panel here, and we'll do our best to answer it. Okay, we got some exciting news in terms of your next step in this globalization of fitness is life. We've got you're going to be having a podcast that you're putting together, and do you want to start this off, tell folks kind of what that's going to look like? Ryan, Chris?
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, so, I mean, to summarize, it's kind of the things that we touched on here, right? Is like putting fitness into life in practice and really talking about the benefits from just simple weight training, not being afraid of the gym, all the way to simple diet stuff, nutrition. I think one of the things that you can't see Edgar, but we were talking about too, is right now there's just so much analysis by paralysis. I mean, there's so much information out there. And I mean, it doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be intimidating. We just want people to feel very welcomed and reassured that they can join a gym, get started on their fitness, and it doesn't have to be scary.
And it doesn't have to be our gym, right? We really want people just to get active, because if you look at what happened in the past with sickness, and you saw it was people that were overweight and people that had some comorbidities, we just know that a healthy community bleeds across everything, right? I mean, you have healthier parents, you have less people in the hospital, less people at the doctor's office. The community just is different, and our goal is to hopefully change each community we sit in and make an impact. And we're going to be inviting, other fitness people that aren't part of our group to be part of what we're doing and
be part of the podcast.
Part of the podcast,
wow,
and
that's
and
unusual in itself, right there.
Yeah. So we just have seen so many good things happen. If we can just spread that, I think it'd be great for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we. If you had to pick one, we're showing some clips as we go along of the gyms, Valley Fitness in Fort Washington. Guillermo was doing a great job on that. If there was one overriding number one message, say you're talking to somebody and trying to encourage them to start as you said, go to the gym, not necessarily yours, but just to go to the gym, because I think that's why I don't have a home gym. There's something about getting up and going there and being out with other people that's beneficial as well, because you can tend to isolate yourself, especially after COVID. And if that's what you choose to do, okay. But I'm a big encourager about going to a gym. There's a lot of ancillary benefits there. But what would be the one thing you would say to them to try to encourage them to join a gym? And you don't have to come up with it. Take some time. We're not some radio station like an AM. Bring it on and get it on from 12 to 2 p.m. Now, here comes the doors. You know.
I would just say start small, right? Just take the first step. I think a lot of people are overwhelmed with thinking what that first step is, and they think it's 5 days a week, and they think it's 3 hours every time they go in, and they think they think it's just so daunting that they just freeze up. And it might be a walk a couple times a week. It might be go to the gym once a week. It's just take that first step and see how your body reacts, see how you feel, and then the rest takes over from there.
Right?
Yeah, I'm going to echo that, because the people that I've trained that had the most unsuccessful rate, they bit off way more than they could chew. They think they have to go to the gym 5 days a week, and they have to start meal prepping right away, and they got to do this and do that. And
it's overwhelming.
It's 100% it's overwhelming. And the ones that just started off small, they walked a couple days a week, they lifted weights once or twice a week, they slowly built that over time, and they turn into that person that's doing the 9-10 plates. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, simple is so king when it comes to this. It doesn't have to be overwhelming by any means.
The demographic I'd like to speak to is, and you know who you are. It's going to hit home to you or not, but I think it's going to hit home to a lot of folks. You belong. You belong. I can't tell you how many people have come up to me over the years, because back in the day, I looked pretty good and worked out in the heat of the night. I go to the gym and work out. How would you? I say, how did you do it? And I'd tell them that, and they'd say, well, I just can't go to the gym. I go, why? I don't know. I just feel real strange. I don't know. And you hear that enough, and the light finally went on with me. They don't feel they belong. And then I started seeing how gyms were operating. And it could be intimidating. I'd worked out them my whole life, so I didn't really see it. But I heard it so much, I started to take the blinders off and see it. You walk in the door, and all you hear is a bunch of clanking weights. Then you hear in the distance, yeah, and then you go, yeah, one more, Johnny, one more, dude, yeah, yeah. And you walk in, and everybody's focused. Most of them. There's no grab butt going on a lot. Most people, now it used to be where you go and you meet, if you're a guy, you meet a gal, meet a gal, meet a guy. That still happens from time to time. But now people put the old earphones on, they just go there. They're laser beamed, a lot of them. A lot of them they'll take time for that phone, which is a whole other subject we're going to talk about. But it's intimidating, and they don't feel like they belong. And I'm here to tell you, you belong. Nobody's looking at you. And especially at Fort Washington Fitness and Valley Fitness, for you folks locally. And folks, we go around I know we got listeners and viewers from New York City to Alaska. We loved all y'all. Find yourself a gym. More than likely, it's not going to be the atmosphere you think it's going to be. As Chris said, start small. And start small is having the courage to go through that door, go up to the front desk, tell them, look, I've never worked out at a gym before, and I'm a little nervous. Is there somebody there that can help kind of navigate with me this? I almost promise you they're going to have an answer for that. Maybe not as good as these guys, because I know the people that work there. You've got some folks that have been there since that are just stellar at making personal trainers, front desk people that are just, they're cut above.
Thank you.
But anyway, that would be my plea to you all, because I know, because I keep hanging this story, it won't leave me, what Chris just told about the young lady. It can be transformational, and they've proven it with data. Do you know there's a guy that works out in the gym? His name's escaping me. I'm ashamed, but I'm old. I met him at George Brown's, at one of the other gyms here. He now works at Fort Washington. But he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer 10 years ago. They gave him like less than a year. And he just hit the weights. He just hit the gym. Now, to him, and who am I to argue or anybody to argue with him, he says the reason he's alive is he started pushing weights. That's a big part of why that cancer was able to be held at bay. Well, and the data has come out since that there's something about weightlifting that releases something that's what do you call it, the carcinogens or whatever that are released by cancer cells. They go attack cancer cells. So cardio for heart stuff is good, but weightlifting, it helps fight cancer.
Well, the studies with muscle density have been amazing recently, in the recent past, on what it does for the human body. I mean, I think we're just on the tip of learning quite a bit about how our bodies work, because science is getting better, right? I mean, as we learn more, we learn more. But you don't have to lift super heavy weight. You don't have to become a big bodybuilder. That's not what the studies are saying, but you do have to lift some weights and put your body under stress, and it helps the bones. It helps. I mean, you can just go down the list of everything that weightlifting does for you, but it's been pretty cool.
I was watching a clip on TikTok a while ago. I believe she was a cardiologist. She was talking about kind of this topic, and it stuck with me. We were talking about obesity in America earlier, and she was saying, what'd she say? She said, we don't have an over fat problem in the country. We have an under-muscled problem. And that was like pretty cool, because the weight training it's so beneficial. It goes beyond so many things. What, like, people have this box of what weight training does, but it goes so beyond that. When she said that we were under-muscled, I was like, man, that makes a lot of sense. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. You know, she was a communist spy, Chinese spy. I'm just kidding, algorithm. I'm just kidding. Don't shadow ban. It was a joke, Zuckerberg. Come on, man. They call it, because I read a lot about this stuff, they call it resistance training.
Yeah.
That's the catchphrase now, weightlifting, resistance training. And I tell you, again, I haven't seen one study that even said that it was inconclusive, much less, well, it doesn't work for you. There's no link. You're seeing every study showing that that these folks that lift weights, the percentage of them that get cancer as opposed to those who don't lift weights. Now, you got to take the steroid users out because they compromise the data. But you take clean people lifting weights, and it's like astonishing, 90-something% less cancer incidency. I mean, there's something there. I mean, if there's that much smoke, there's a fire there. I mean, that's and that alone, my goodness, is enough to join that gym, get past that intimidation, go join that gym.
Well, I think that brings up, I'm reading a question that was on Facebook regarding the Ozempic and semaglutide, and we're seeing, let me go back a second. We're about to launch a program which is, we're calling it GLP-1 Extreme, right? Because all those drugs are a GLP-1 drug, which were started for obesity and diabetics and to get the weight loss down. But we're seeing it now. People are just using that drug for a weight loss drug, and it's getting more and more common, and it's growing like crazy.
Especially in Hollywood.
And especially in Hollywood.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, yeah.
So what we're doing is we want to help people through that product or through that project that they have with their body, right? And that drug, if you're not doing weightlifting, it starts to eat away at your muscles, right? So we're trying to walk them through that life, and I'll let Ryan kind of explain that a little more, what they get from that.
Yeah. So that's at least right now, and it's still early, but that seems to be the common theme, is that anyone that's going through that, they're noticing a loss of muscle mass and even a little bit of a decrease in bone density. And for these folks that are about to start, have already started, or are coming off of, we want to provide them with a good resistance training program. We want to get them on a diet that is simple to follow, but again, will help with the avoidance of muscle loss or a decrease in bone density, and even potentially supplementation, because that is another big area that some of these people are missing out on. But yeah, just to summarize, we want them lifting some weights, nothing crazy, dieting, healthy, and then potentially get on some supplementation to help with the avoidance of muscle loss.
My apologies. I didn't even know what was going on up there at the screen. I guess Guillermo's been shooting up questions left and right. And the guy who's the rookie behind the mic, Chris, is the one going, hey, I'll answer some questions.
That one.
Me, the veteran. I'm sorry, folks. Next time we have him on, I'll be more cognizant. We got another one going up real quick. While he types in this next question, Ryan and Chris, why do you think it is in America everyone is looking for the shortcut, the quick fix? Just give me some Ozempic, and I can be in shape. Give me the fitness pill that's going to give me six-pack abs. Well, I mean, in other countries, the work ethic that you have to work for something seems to be more alive and well than where we are. It's like if you have to work for something, I think it's tied to a lot of the free money you get. Stimulus. Oh, well, man, I won't go there. But go away. Do you have the same feeling that we're just fighting that out there as well to try to get people to get into a gym? There's going to be some work involved, right?
Yeah. I've been fortunate to have trained people globally. Culture is a big one, right? We have like this social media culture, and like, again, not the way we dress, but like how our physique looks, right? People just want that fast, right? Like they don't want to. Chris doesn't want to be told it's going to take him a year to, feel great. I mean, it'll be a lot sooner, but people assume it's going to take way longer than what it may really feel. But culture, instant gratification. I mean, we got to get people loving the process. I mean, that stuff's fun.
And the enjoyment that comes with working for something.
Yeah.
You wouldn't work. I got 9 plates. I worked for that. Look at the work that went into that. But there's just this instant gratification stuff that people, I mean, look at these New Year's resolutions. Everybody joins the gym. You overflow them. Then you come down to half of them are gone, if not more.
Yeah, I think that has to do a lot with social.
As long as they keep paying their dues.
Social.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, social is a highlight reel, right? So you don't get to see the work. You don't get to see the struggle. You don't get to see the failure. and you're starting to see it a little bit where people are posting their journey, and they're starting to show the failure and the struggles they've had to get to a certain point. But social's really made people think that it's easy. And well, I saw one the other day. I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody saying, "Yeah, it took me 15 years to be an overnight success." Right?
Yeah. And that's we got a few that didn't know if lifting weights keep cancer away. Yeah, we're not saying it's definitely a cure for cancer, but it's obviously very beneficial.
Well,
Facebook too. You want to read that one?
It's not that it keeps cancer away, but your body was designed to heal itself, right? Once you get a cut, the first thing it does, it scabs up and it wants to heal. So if you can give it the tools to heal, and that's weightlifting, that's nutrition, that's mental health. If you give it all the tools, your body's an amazing machine that will go into work.
Very well said, and I know I agree with you 100%. I know we're running out of time here, but it's a good question. She says, I'm a chubby first time in my life I've been overweight that has lost muscle mass in my 50s. I can't even imagine walking into a gym. What do you say to that individual? Come on, guys.
Well,
give them encouragement.
Here's the truth is the gyms are filled with probably 90% that category.
Yeah.
Right?
Did you hear that?
Yes.
And what happens is if you guys have all shopped for a new car or you're see a car you like, you happen to see it everywhere. So your mind is trained to find that thing that you really want.
God, that's
or
like
you're
my wife
scared
looking
of.
for a new husband.
Yeah,
That's exactly her.
So if you're going in there thinking everybody's thin or everybody's healthy, you're going to see them. But it doesn't mean that's what's really filling up the gym, and you got to get in the habit of like, let me look at everybody individually, and you're gonna feel comfortable in the club.
Now here's the guys around it. They're around every single day, but that's what I was trying to say. There's so many people like this the individual, one of Autry's armies members that just intimidated. Don't be intimidated. Just do the right thing. You got to live on what you know, not like what you feel. You don't feel like going in there the way you are now, but you know you need to go there. Just go and do it. Break through that, and like Chris says, once you get on that other side, you'll see. They're all not, waiting to do Mr. and Mr. Universe. They're looking a lot like you on that same journey, and you know what? You'll meet some really good friends.
Yes.
Right? Because there is a social aspect that's good, not a dating service, but a good social life attached around that fitness. Similar journeys, correct?
Similar journey, 100%.
Yeah. All right. How much time we got? 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes. Any final thoughts? Edgar, you want to poke your head in here and let people see you? Come on. Edgar's going to be on the show here. He's going to pop back here. This is this handsome young man that we keep referring to. He's part of the Valley Fitness, Fort Washington Fitness team. Any shout-outs you want to give to anybody that at your clubs that want to stand out? I know if you start mentioning one,
yeah, I know.
I know. Be careful.
Got me in political trouble there.
Be careful.
I do have a great team though that are all trying to do the right thing for our members. So they show up every day. They do the best they can each day. And like I said, give us a little grace because there are times that we may fail, but that's not what we're shooting for. That's not what we're reaching for. And it's the same as a fitness journey, right? If you're on that journey, you're going to fail. You're going to eat too many pieces of pizza one night and don't feel bad about it.
Okay, how to get in touch with Valley Fitness? Go valleyfitness.com?
valleyfitness.com.
Do you have a phone number in case those that want to go, or do you know?
If they go there, all the clubs have different numbers. So
okay, just go to valleyfitness.com. Also, Washington.com.
Fort Washington.
Are they on the same? They should be under the same, huh?
Yeah, you can go to the link from Valley Fitness.
So valleyfitness.com is the mothership.
Mothership.
Go there to get a hold of those folks, and they'll answer any and all questions that you may have. Now, I've got a minute and a half. Real quick, the podcast, Fitness is Life, our team, the Valley Fitness team, is still working out the date of the first drop, the first podcast. They're looking at right now doing maybe one a month. All of this is going to be putting this together, be a work in progress, but I'm excited to be a part of it and promoting it and being there. So we'll let you know, but it's going to be very shortly, right, team?
Yes.
That you're going to have this up and be able to put it on your schedule. Any questions like you have about fitness, these folks are going to be here. I'm so excited about their whole philosophy. And just remember this, you belong. You belong in the gym. You belong. And if you just think that, trust me on that. You're not from an ex-politician, trust me.
Gotcha.
But I feel very secure. And, and if you go there and it's not a good experience at Valley Fit, come chew me out online and whatever. Call me out. I don't mind it. I believe that much in fitness, and I believe that much in Fort Washington fitness and Valley Fitness. This is, fellas, thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you. You've
thank
already
you.
blessed so many people, and God bless you folks. And just remember, do your best and let God do the rest. And I promise you it's going to turn out the way it's supposed to. Love y'all. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.